A doctor in Miami is making headlines after announcing that she won't treat anyone in person who hasn't had a COVID vaccine. Dr. Linda Marikinen claims that she's been forced to draw a red line by her concern for public health.
We will no longer subject our patients and staff to unnecessary risk. When it comes to safety of others, when it comes to the fact that it's a global health problem and community health problem, at this point, I really say that this is where it draws the line in the sand for me.
The doctor says her decision doesn't fall foul of the ethical standards because she's still offering phone appointments and exempting people who can't get vaccinated on medical grounds. With the highly contagious Delta variant of COVID taking hold around the world, Dr. Marikinen joins the global chorus of those calling for a greater vaccination push. My colleague Neil Harvey put this issue up for debate.
She's obviously set out a standard in her practice, and everybody knows about that. Then all of her patients know, and she's using, I'm sure, computer-based telemedicine. However, if they require in-person care, she'll have to refer them elsewhere. Here in my own medical center, the Vanderbilt University Medical Center, we're not doing that. We're using good infection control precautions to take care of all patients infected with COVID and not vaccinated or not.
I can understand where this doctor's getting frustrated because there she is. She wants to deal with people. She wants to help people, but she's got people who are presenting themselves or wanted to present themselves at her medical centre, and they haven't even bothered to have the vax. Look, I believe it's everybody's duty. No man is an island, and everybody should be getting vaccinated.
There are a few high-profile cases that get picked up by the media. I think there was a BBC presenter who got a blood clot from a vaccination and died. These stories get a lot of attention. Can you understand people reading something like that and thinking, I don't want to die. I don't want to be one of the unlucky ones who gets a blood clot and dies from this, and it probably statistically isn't going to kill me anyway, COVID. I'm going to take my chances. Can you sympathise with that mentality?
The average person hasn't a background in science, and they're fearful of the vaccine and fearful of the virus, and that gets them in the middle, and they don't act at all, certainly not receiving the vaccine. We've given this vaccine to more people in a shorter period of time than ever before. We now have a vast experience, not only in our own country, but around the world with this vaccine. We know how it works. It's not perfect, but it sure is very, very good. And if we all took it, it could really abort the further spread of this virus.
The internet is a great place to spread conspiracies, and I think that's where it's coming from. Right from the wild conspiracies that Bill Gates is putting a chip in everybody's arm, right through to this is an experimental vaccine. It's not an experimental vaccine. It's a vaccine that's being tested.
What about the societal impact? Couldn't we end up with a situation where you've got, for example, almost half of the population in America who haven't been vaccinated? You could have a large percentage of people saying, we will refuse this mandatory vaccination. Could you then end up with a real societal split and a kind of two-tier society where you've got people who actually have a lot less freedoms because they refuse vaccination?
First of all, mandatory. I don't really want them to be mandatory. There shouldn't be a need for that. People should be selfless, not selfish. If it creates, in our country now, they're talking, oh, well, if you haven't had the vaccination, it's like an apartheid state. It isn't apartheid. We can't let these people who have got these stupid ideas or this so-called hesitancy.
I think we need to respect the people who are so far refusing the vaccine and trying to lure them into persuading them, making them comfortable in receiving the vaccine.